Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm your host, Tyrannosenpai, and welcome to our first ever review for Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal, an Adult Swim animation series that debuted over a year ago now. Now, the name Tartakovsky should sound familiar as he worked previously on Samurai Jack and Dexter's Laboratory, both of which I saw snippets of as a child watching Cartoon Network. However, unlike these kid-friendly shows, Primal is guts and gore galore. Hey, it rhymes. Hee. For the longest while, I never knew this series even existed up until the trailer for Part 2 was released. My first reaction towards it wasn't a very good one. I spat at it for how the aesthetics looked and the story the trailer told. But just out of curiosity, I decided to watch Primal to see if it is of any good. I immediately regret my initial reaction. This series is absolutely breathtaking. Genndy Tartakovsky did an excellent job with this piece. There are some outlandish things, like the giant bats and the huge spider, Acromantula much primal. Not to mention how small the Tyrannosaurus in this series is, or the lack of feathers on what I can only assume are velociraptors, seeing that they are normally the most frequently portrayed genus in various forms of dinosaur media, more specifically Jurassic Park. However, this can easily be looked over as it's an animation and scientific accuracy isn't an easy thing to find in dinosaur movies and television shows. There's hardly any dialogue, which I can greatly appreciate. The story tells itself using only visuals and sounds. One thing I did notice is that Primal used the sound effects from Dinosaur Planet. Don't believe me? Listen to this. For only 10 episodes in the first season, it really was satisfying. This really paints an amazing picture of how difficult it is to survive in a primordial land full of terrifying predators and giant monsters. This show doesn't pull punches. It will fuck you up emotionally. Especially because even children and infant dinosaurs do in fact die in Primal. No one is safe. Not even the main characters have perfect plot armor, as we'll see in future videos in this series. Now, we reach spoiler territory. So, if you don't want anything from the first season to be spoiled, stop watching this video now and watch Primal on Adult Swim, Amazon Prime, or wherever it's available. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the first season of Primal to its fullest. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the spoiler review. Now, this video would be incredibly long if I reviewed them all in this one video. So, instead, I'll review all 10 episodes of Season 1 individually. So let's kick it off with Episode 1, Spear and Fang. The series begins with Spear, the main character of the series, catching fish in a body of water. Just the tension and suspense alone of this opening scene is phenomenal. I even get jump scared when the giant crocodile, supposedly a Sarcosuchus, lunged out of the water in an attempt to kill Spear. The moment the title card went up, my initial reaction towards the series had went from hell nah to fucking yeah! So I continued watching and saw the perils of being a caveman in a world full of ferocious dinosaurs. What I didn't expect was for Spear's whole family to get slaughtered by a trio of red-horned Tyrannosaurus Rex. I came to realize at that moment that this series was like The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. Nobody, not even the children, had plot armor. It was very depressing to see Spear contemplate suicide and almost step off of a cliff. I could feel all the emotions running through him and could only imagine what was going through his mind. But knowing that he was going to kill himself was something his family would want. He kept living. Sometime later, Spear crosses paths with a young female Tyrannosaurus Rex named Fang, which should be pretty obvious as to why she's called that. But I only recently found out she was female and not a male. Can I get an F in the chat? Spear follows her, wanting revenge for his family, but finds that she has 2 babies of her own. Spear stopped and realized that this dinosaur was a mother just looking after her young. However, the trio of horned T-Rex returned, attempting to snatch Fang's youngsters. Fang managed to kill one, possibly 2, I don't know, while Spear took down another, rescuing Fang's babies. After the battle was over, the young Tyrannosaurus chicks nuzzled and played with Spear. Now trusting him and showing a great deal of affection, even pulling his hair like a tug-of-war rope, which I found incredibly adorable. But it's far from a happy ending when a larger, alpha Tyrannosaurus, assumed to be the mother of the smaller horned T-Rex, attacks. It knocks Fang and Spear back just before it grabs the baby Tyrannosaurus and swallows them whole. Naturally, Fang is absolutely distraught over the death of her offspring and charges in without thinking, but is quickly overpowered. It's only when Spear and Fang work alongside each other do they finally bring down the giant red demon once and for all. But despite their triumph, Fang grieves over her youngsters, curling up in their nests as if trying to feel their warmth. Interesting fact, modern-day birds sometimes mourn over the death of their offspring, especially if they witness their deaths. So it's not too far-fetched to say that Tyrannosaurus and other dinosaurs were the same way. Whether or not this is a coincidence or actual research that the makers of the series did is beyond me. Anyway, Spear leaves the grieving mother alone, but not for long. Fang apparently followed Spear for some time, and just look at her. Look at that face. Take a good, long, hard look at her expression. She is definitely not in a good state. Her face can only be saying, "Please help me. Don't leave me alone." She even lies on her belly submissively, showing Spear she's not a threat. My initial reaction was that Fang wanted Spear to kill her, much like how Spear wanted to commit suicide, but I then just assumed it was a submissive gesture. Luckily for Fang, Spear grants her wish and decides to stay with her. They both lost something dear to them, individuals they loved but couldn't protect. It's through their tragedies that Spear and Fang can relate to each other. The first episode of Primal was very well done. It made me hungry for more and got me into a total addiction I never knew possible. In total, episode 1, Spear and Fang, gets a 5 out of 5 score. It's a great pilot episode and a welcome addition to the expansive universe of dinosaur media. If you did stick around long enough to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. It really makes my day to know that people do enjoy my content, and I always love seeing the comments that are left, even if they're so few and far between. So that'll wrap up for today's video, and be sure to stay tuned for my review on the second episode, The River of Snakes. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, subscribe today, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything new, link to the Discord in the description down below. And until next time, this is Tyranno Senpai signing off. Alrighty then. Take care now. Bye-bye then.